Hello, everybody. Let's go ahead and get started with another training. This one's on done by the Blue Crew. It's more about the DeepHaven product. We just want to make it an easier process to understand how to review and look at it. So as normal, we'll start in our portal, security snmcportal.com. It's where you'll find all the information. It should be your one-stop shop to get all the information you need in order to conduct your business. So with inside of it, you're going to see it's been slimmed down and it's very easy to use. We don't want to make anything more than just concise information. Resource Center. Right into the topics section, there's a DeepHaven tab, and it'll give you the program matrix and contact for their scenario desk, which I'll go into in greater detail. The scenario desk is awesome, so you'll always want to use it if you're using DeepHaven. We're going to go down to then product and underwriting guides. This is where you find all the meat of any of our products. We go into credit policy. Now, with this particular loan product, it's kind of hidden in some regards, but it's in conforming, and then portfolio products is where it's at. So if you go to there, you click on that, you'll find all the DeepHaven as well as the SNL direct loan product. So we go into our portfolio product, and 101 pages of excitement. It's a lot of information, but so much of it is there to just back up the information that we're going to talk about. And so let's go right into it. So DeepHaven, it's a non-QM loans, so they're about making no doc business purpose loans, low FICOs, past lates, bankruptcies, bank statement programs. I mean, you can see the list. It just goes on. And these are the ones that are tough to find homes for. And that's where they created that niche, was being able to go and capture where other people's weren't. Now, one thing that I want to say is that DeepHaven loans, these need to be worked from the inside out. That means that you need to take a very, very good loan application. You need to ask all the right questions, meaning you need to ask anything. And if there's any question that you have when they give you information, ask more questions, because you need to determine what their situation is and who are they and how can we fit that into one of the products to make it work. Because they have about any scenario you need to fill, they have a product for it. But it's just a matter of determining what it is, and then we can fit it into the loan product rather than going, let's grab a loan product and see if we can get the borrower to fit. So you kind of have to think backwards in that I've got to figure out what this borrower really is and go that way. I say it a lot because it's important. So basically, because it's going to fall into three different categories: near prime, non-prime, and investment. Near prime hasn't had an major housing event in the last 2 years. Non-prime, they've had something happen in the last 2 years. Investment, that could be a variety of different things. Either they have a lot of properties, foreign nationals fall into that category, or maybe they don't want to show income or don't have the availability because they write it all off. So there's great products there, and we'll look at each one of them. But in the reality, you need to look at all the product here to understand it. Near prime says, again, they don't have any 2 years. They haven't had any issues. They can go down to a 620. Those are the max LTVs you'll see there. But in reality, if you have the more layers of risk, the lower the LTVs will go. So just be aware of it when you're looking at it. Don't just assume, they can do a 90% on a purchase automatically. it's all broken out. Now, there's 6 pages for this matrix. Each of those buckets has 2 pages, and you'll see that they're broken down into little different spots. And that's what you need to do, is you need to start going through and familiarize yourself with it, because each one of these has different information. On the second page of each one of them also has the additional information that'll talk about DTIs and how the income works, and reserves as well. And so you just have to remember also that most of the time all of these loans have residuals. Now, the non-prime has a lot more products associated with it, but with more opportunity comes more cost associated with the rate. And I'll always say, with the rate, people know what situation they're in, so don't feel like you have to beg for them to understand this. It's their situation and you're helping them out. And that's the way you have to go into it. You got to be proud and say, look, we're offering you an opportunity to be able to finance what you need to do. Otherwise, they could wait for however long it's going to take to correct and miss out on whatever opportunity they're looking at. But non-prime, you've got lower scores. They could have something that have happened in the last 2 years that was major, like a foreclosure. And there's this A-, B+, B, and recent housing event, meaning they could have had a foreclosure and they've settled and cleared, and then the next day they could get a loan. So great opportunities, but everybody always has to understand the cost associated with it. And I don't mean it in a bad way, but there's times where they need to understand what they're working with. When we go into the investor side, I wanted to say that I've been on to some of these investor fix and flip type deals, and people are paying 14-15% with 2 points. And so when they look at these kind of rates, these are great rates to be able to do what they want and not have to show any income, no job requirements. So when you look at these things, there's worse out there, and this is a quality company that's going to deliver. We've just had a loan officer just said how good they were to work with. So I highly recommend, if you have the opportunity, it's a great program to look into. Again, so just to reiterate, you've got your A, you got your A-, and then you have your investor advantage. Your investor advantage is going to be for your more seasoned investor. There's no income, there's no employment listed. It's pretty just cut and dry. It's all about, you got to put the money down and you meet the couple of pieces that they need, and out the door you go. The foreign national product will follow under the investor advantage. So there's times where these matrices are going to give you most everything you need, but there's a point where you're going to need to refer back to the credit policy and also the scenario desk. If this is done right, this can be such a cash cow for people. And I call this type of loan also it's a gateway loan. It's a great opportunity to get out and meet realtors that you may not have met before that are out doing business. And sure, you're going to get some hard ones here, and they're not hard, but they're you want the rest of their business. So if we look at the portfolio of it, you'll see that as we scroll down, one of the things that you'll notice is there's a tremendous amount of program codes. And that's why I have said time and time again, you got to work from the inside out. If you determine that your client is an A+, he's in the A+, but maybe it's business bank statements, you'll notice that each one of these, when you say it's bank statements, it's business bank statements, it's full doc, it's A- bank statements, A- business, A- full But when you look at it, there's only 5 products in each one. So if you determine that they're a business bank statement, all right, we've alleviated 25 of the 30 options. Now it's just a pick of which amortization do they want. So if they wanted a 5-1 ARM, boom, you've got it. So you went from 30 to 5 immediately, and then you're just picking down to the one that they wanted. So that's why you don't want to go and try to determine what product they're going to use. You're going to determine which one do they fit into and work from there. I can't, I've had a lot of loan officers just get so frustrated because they just start with the product codes and they're like, I have no clue. What are my guides to have to do this? Instead of taking the client, running through the matrix, determining what they are, and backing into it. I know I've said it a bunch of times, but I just wanted to clarify that that's what it is. The other thing I want to note is when you see these highlighted areas, this isn't something that I've highlighted. It is a highlighted piece because it's saying that there was a credit policy change, and our underwriting credit policy department made the change. And in this case, back in the beginning of May, DeepHaven loosened up their requirements on quite a few pieces, and those highlights show what was changed, what program was, and then it'll talk, as you scroll through, you'll see, oh, this was changed or that was changed, and that was how they'll show the different changes that were made. In this case, they loosened up their guidelines, so make it more attractive to the investment community to be able to lend. So as we look at, I kind of just take a minute because you look at it and there's so many different things. There's even limited trade lines. There is non-U.S. credit, So when you look at some of these, there's options there in the non-prime that you go, whoa, this guy doesn't have any U.S. credit. Hey, this would be a good opportunity for him. But you see all those yellow marks where they were changing things? The other thing that you'd want to do is Control F, which means to find. You can type in whatever you may be looking for and find what you're looking for. And, obviously if you spell it correctly, it obviously helps. But in this case, I typed in foreign national. And when I go through foreign national, I before E except after C, you'll find all the different pieces that when it talks about foreign national. And this is good with any PDF. So when you look through things, it's a great way to search. And you could find all the specific pieces with regards to foreign nationals. And, in this type of program, I'm all about printing the guides, highlighting, and making sure that what I need to know and that I'm not missing something and that I'm not going to have a failure at the end. I want to make sure I know everything when I'm going into this. So yes, you're going to need to have the 101 pages, but that matrix is going to pretty much put you into the right category and get you going. So just kind of an idea when we'll look through, let's say that I've got a near prime borrower. I know that they haven't had a major event in the last 2 years. I go into there. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to look at does that all fit? Then I'm going to go in, I'm a 24-month bank statement guy, so I look at and get my guides there. Then I'm going to go down to the additional program requirements, and I'm going to make sure of everything right there. Then I'm going to go into property type requirements and make sure there. And then lastly, I'm going to go in and I'm going to look at each one of those and just go through and highlight each piece as it pertains to my client and to the situation. I always am just one that, I always tell people that, it's their loan and I'm just facilitating it for them. And it's true. And if you think that way, you're not owning the situation. You're just there to help. Now, in the scenario desk, great opportunity. Their contact information is there. It's I would call them because, you know how it is. spur more questions when you're having a conversation. But they'll give you general guidance, exception request, complex income calculation questions, and credit review. They'll talk you through, they'll help you go through it. However, our underwriting department underwrites it, and also when you're calculating income, they will take care of it for you. And so be sure to use our concierge department for calculating income. So I thank you very much. Anytime you have any questions, reach out to the Blue Crew. Thanks so much.